All right, we're finally ready here. Let's go back to where you downloaded and extracted your AssetWorx zip file. And finally, we can now right-click setup.exe, say run as administrator, and we're going to start this process of installing various modules that are part of the AssetWorx suite. The first of which is to create the database tables here. So I'm going to check the install on this module by itself, and we'll just do this one by one. Hit next, and these now is going to ask me for the license key code, and I want to pause just for a moment while I do that. Okay, we're continuing. After we put in our license key code and hit next, you're presented with this screen, and there won't be any values here. So I've pre-filled them out. Your server name, if you don't know what your server name is, you can use Management Studio to open it up, and it's right here. So you can just, right click or hit properties and just copy that, right? Copy that, paste it in on this screen, and then you're going to put in your database name. Remember that was AssetWorx with capital A and W. AssetWorx user was our username down here. AssetWorx user, right? So plug those things in and then hit next. And it should go ahead and install all of the tables that are needed. And we can check that by coming back here. Oops, sorry. Before I go, you can see all these tokens. These might come in handy as information. So go ahead and copy those. And I am going to paste them in a notepad file so that I have access to them during subsequent steps in the installation process. Let's come back here to tables. You'll still see there's nothing there because I have to go up here to refresh. I'm going to go ahead and refresh, and now the tables, you can see everything that was added by the installer program. Okay, so we know that that step worked and we're good, and we can hit install more. Okay, now we'll come to probably the bigger step here, which is unchecking this and doing the web service. AssetWorx isn't a desktop application, it's a web service largely, right? So we're going to be using IIS because this is a Windows system. And after checking that, we'll hit next. And this might take a little bit of time. When you're installing each one of these submodules, it'll come up with the same form. Just keep the same information in there, right? And there is one additional step I was going to run here. You can do this OpenID authentication mode. We'll probably have to do this in a separate video. This is for two-factor authentication, and I'm going to skip that right now, but I do want to actually click on this and say Encrypt Web Server. Okay, so we're going to be using, oh gosh, I guess I can't. If I was going to be using an HTTPS type address for the web service, then I would check that box and I would use my SSL certificate here. I don't have that on this laptop, so I guess I'm just going to keep it as a normal HTTP:// without the encryption. But that's where you would check that and put in that SSL certificate if you had a real server. Okay, so let's just proceed. We'll hit next and install. And this can take a little time because sometimes there's a lot of additional Microsoft type modules that need to be downloaded. So we'll let it do its thing. I'm going to pause and then we'll come back when it's done. All right, so it finished and it's successful. And you can see this is the same information we had there before. Just to make sure, I'm going to copy that, and I'm pretty sure that's the same thing. Let's just, make that available. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. So we will now hit install more, uncheck that step, and go here. Now, if you have had it installed before, which I have, you'll have to uninstall and then hit that, next. You can call it whatever you want for a base URL. I'm simply just going to call it localhost here, but this is going to be the web URL that would be used by your employees to access the AssetWorx web service. I'm just going to put localhost because I'm running everything on one laptop here. Now, alarm monitoring service client secret. Alarm monitoring service, right there, that one. So I'm going to take this token and I will go back here, paste it in here, and now hit next. Oops, I also need to put in http:// next. Oh my, and then I get this. So I will examine this for a little bit. Okay, I have to say that I'm not really sure why I was getting that other error message here, but alarm monitoring services and alarm notifier both gave me some kind of red screen here. I'll see if RADS does too, I'm not sure. But if I put that in, I think the issue might be with this. RAD client secret. I have to go back to, let's see, there it is. Let's see if this one goes through. Yeah, you get the same kind of thing here. And it looks like there's something about the credentials here that I'm not going to worry that much about it, because when I actually open up a browser, I'm able to log into AssetWorx. Now, what is the actual URL for that? Well, it's, if you go into IIS Services Manager and you identify AssetWorx here, you can actually just click on Browse, right? Click Browse, and it should take you right to that login screen. And that shows us that the web service is working. So now you can go ahead and log in, and the two default logins here would be admin or super admin. And super admin allows you to create subgroups within a database, whereas admin allows you to add users and define assets within a subgroup. So there's many different admin accounts, but they are segregated by a unique group name. So let's go in and first of all just kind of show you what this looks like. If I click admin and demo and log in here, you can actually hit save. You'll see that there's no assets, there's no locations, these two are the main two tables to worry about. There's also no companies at this point, which is done under tools and options. And you'll notice that under company settings, if I try to add a company and I'll just put in XYZ, right? It's not going to let me because it says I don't have privileges. So I actually have to be a super admin to create a company. Now, you can do some of these things manually within this interface, but I generally find things to be a little bit easier if we use Management Studio to run some SQL scripts to create these things in a more automated way. So that's what we're going to do in the next series of videos.